Tonight, our special transmission as the United Nations General Assembly demands that Israel end its unlawful presence in Palestinian territories within 12 months. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. Today is the 348th day since Israel started targeting Palestinians indiscriminately in response to October 7th attacks. Palestinian Health Ministry reports in the past 24 hours, at least 20 civilians have been killed. 54 have been wounded. The situation in the Burej refugee camp is dire. Intense bombardment has killed 8 Palestinians. 80 are feared to be trapped under rubble. Palestinian medical teams have recovered 10 bodies in Rafah. At least 41,272 Palestinians have been killed in the past 11 months. 95,551 have been injured. A report in the British medical journal The Lancet estimates the casualties could be as high as 186,000. The report was published in July. Israel faces accusations of genocide for its actions in Gaza at the International Court of Justice. Hezbollah militant group and the Lebanese group are labeling the explosion of pagers an Israeli attack. The news comes after pagers used by Hezbollah members exploded yesterday. The attack killed 12 civilians, including a 10-year-old girl. One of the victims is a son of a Hezbollah MP. 2,750 have been injured. Hundreds remain in critical condition. Hezbollah describes the blasts as mysterious explosions occurring across its various units and institutions. Hezbollah blames Israel and vows revenge. It says it will hold the country fully responsible for the deadly incident. Reports suggest that Israel's Mossad spy agency had planted explosives in 5,000 pagers used by the group. The plot had allegedly been planned for several months, with the devices imported into Lebanon earlier this year. The pages were manufactured by Budapest-based Back Consulting. Taiwanese firm Gold Apollo has clarified that although its brand was used, the design and production were entirely handled by Back. Israel has declined to comment. However, it has acknowledged attacks on 30 Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon overnight. The armed conflict location and event data shows Israel has exchanged more than 9,600 attacks with armed groups in Lebanon since October last year. 82% of these attacks have been carried out by Israeli forces. In a developing story, at least 14 people have been killed and 450 injured in Lebanon today. This comes after a new series of explosions of wireless devices have rocked the Bekaa Valley and the southern suburbs of Beirut. The Lebanese Red Cross has confirmed more than 30 ambulances have been dispatched to treat and evacuate the wounded. The Lebanese army is urging citizens to avoid areas affected by the explosions to allow medical teams to reach those in need. Meanwhile, Lebanese civil defense teams are battling fires ignited by the explosions. The blasts have damaged homes, vehicles, and shops. In response to the incidents, authorities have confiscated all walkie-talkie devices from security personnel at Beirut's Rafiq Hariri International Airport. Fears are growing over the device's potential involvement in the blasts. Global condemnation is pouring in following the indiscriminate deadly pager explosions in Lebanon. The Belgian Deputy Prime Minister strongly condemns the attacks. He describes the incident as a massive terror attack and a brutal escalation of violence. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova is calling the incident another act of hybrid warfare against Lebanon. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has expressed his condolences to Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikati during a phone call. Human rights activists say the attack is a violation of international law. They label the move as reckless and inhumane. Lebanon's health minister Firas Abeid says most of the injuries are in the face, especially in the eyes, in the hands or in the abdomen. The United Nations General Assembly has passed a Palestinian-backed resolution today, urging Israel to withdraw from Gaza and the occupied West Bank within 1 year. 124 member nations voted in favor, while 14 voted against the resolution. 43 member states abstained from voting. The U.S. is among the opposing nations. The resolution comes as Israel's conflict with Hamas in Gaza nears its first anniversary, with escalating violence in the West Bank. Attacks in other parts of the region are fueling concerns of a broader Middle East conflict. Palestinian UN Ambassador Riyad Mansour hails the resolution as a pivotal moment in the struggle for Palestinian self-determination. Israel's UN Ambassador Danny Danon condemns the vote, calling it a shameful decision. The non-binding resolution calls for the immediate withdrawal of Israeli forces and settlers. It calls for the imposition of sanctions on those maintaining Israel's presence in the occupied territories and reparations for Palestinians. The resolution follows a July ruling by the International Court of Justice declaring Israel's presence in the territories illegal. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has been tasked with reporting back to the General Assembly within 3 months on how to implement the resolution. Guterres says he would fully comply with the Assembly's decisions. Right now, the resolution's long-term impact remains uncertain. The U.S. has downplayed its ability to prevent further escalation between Israel and Hezbollah following a series of deadly pager explosions in Lebanon. This comes as the Biden administration faces criticism for not pressuring Israel to de-escalate. The U.S. is Israel's key ally. It provides $3.8 billion in annual military aid to Israel. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller has expressed concern over the incident. Miller says that Washington is not involved in the incident and had not been informed beforehand. Miller says the U.S. alone cannot prevent a wider conflict, urging regional actors to pursue peace. The U.S. reaction comes amid calls to end the Gaza war. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is currently in the Middle East trying to broker a ceasefire. The administration's influence has been questioned, with critics accusing the U.S. of being both an arsonist and firefighter in the conflict. In related news, the U.S. is set to introduce a fresh mediation proposal this week in an effort to revive the stalled ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Washington is applying heavy pressure on Egypt and Qatar to push Hamas into being more flexible in negotiations. However, U.S. officials are cautious, fearing that presenting the plan prematurely could derail talks. Israel has expressed doubts about the U.S.'s ability to broker a deal. Experts blame Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for shifting goalposts whenever the deal comes closer. CIA Director William Burns is expected to present the new proposal. Israel's military is transforming naval personnel into infantry to address significant shortage of soldiers. The Reserve Infantry Division is forming a new battalion from naval forces. The battalion will undergo intensive infantry training, including urban combat skills. This shift comes as the Army faces mounting challenges on multiple fronts. It is carrying out operations in the West Bank and confrontations with Hezbollah in Lebanon. The move has been approved by Deputy Chief of Staff Amir Baram and will be overseen by Ground Forces Command. Training is set to begin in 2 months. Israel has been struggling with a soldier deficit. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has called for the recruitment of 10,000 additional soldiers and to raise the reserve service age. United Kingdom prosecutors have dropped charges against 2 students from the School of Oriental and African Studies in London. The students were accused of assaulting emergency workers during a Free Palestine protest in July. Pro-Palestine activists said pro-Israeli activists attacked their encampment on campus. The Crown Prosecution Service dismissed the charges against Haya Adam due to the lack of evidence and transferred Zaki Ali's case to a magistrate's court. Ali faces a minor charge of obstructing a police officer. A third student, Ebru Gül, has pleaded not guilty to assault. Gül claims she acted in self-defense. She will stand trial in March next year. Bail conditions set by the court include a ban on being in the Westminster area. 7 individuals were arrested at the protest. Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada has stopped assigning immigration applications to inactive officer IDs. The move follows a CBC investigation that revealed over 59,000 files were tied to former staff IDs. Some of them have been inactive for more than a decade. Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada initially dismissed the findings. The organization then launched a network-wide review reassigning cases to active officers. The organization has created 125 new generic IDs to prevent future lapses. These IDs will help ensure applications are tracked even when officers are away or leave the department. The organization pledges to improve transparency and efficiency. Immigration lawyer Jamie Liu applauds the review. However, Liu urges for greater government openness, reminding officials that people's lives are at stake. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We're a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV.